Pepi night.
Yeah, of course. I've always said it. Anytime they call my name, I'm going to be ready to take the opportunity, and I feel like that's what I did tonight.
How is it with your patience?
Yeah, my patience is there. It's there, of course. There's a time where
It's better to say, I've got no patience.
nah. It's up to the coach. How to make the decisions. Of course, I've said it so many times. No matter what my role is, I'm going to continue to be ready. And if it's a starter, if it's coming off the bench, I'll do the best I can for the team.
Did you score 3 goals or 2?
For me, it's 3. For me, it's 3. But at the same time, yeah. Hopefully they count it as 3, and yeah.
People who studied for it say 2. We didn't study, you didn't study, I didn't study. 3 goals.
I scored 3 goals.
All right, well, he scored 3 goals. We'll talk about him in a bit, but in the English Championship, Haji Wright, my boy, he scored the winner for Coventry in injury time as well to beat Luton Town in a 5-goal thriller, a much-needed win for Coventry Herc after 2 losses and a draw before this game. So Haji coming up clutch.
I mean, always playing as a left winger, but always in the center of the field, finding himself in the action. Good little finish.
All right, well, let's compare the two now, because even though comparison is the thief of joy, we keep having this conversation of who should be the kingpin for the U.S. men's national team up front, especially while we're still trying to see if we can trust Flo Balogun with that role and responsibility. This is how Pepi and Haji Wright have been doing since the last FIFA break there. You saw the numbers. Herc, who needed to score the most?
All right. It's Haji Wright, but let me get on to why it's Haji Wright by talking about Ricardo Pepi. Ricardo Pepi, I mean, he's a de facto 9 when Luke de Jong for PSV is not there. Luke de Jong was last year's MVP of the Eredivisie. He's PSV's best player. He's their captain and one of their oldest players at 34 years of age. He's going to play. And when he doesn't, guess who does play? It's Ricardo Pepi. And Ricardo Pepi, guess what he does when he plays? He scores goals. That's who he is for the team, by the way, PSV, who's 10-0-0. They are steamrolling teams in the Eredivisie. Peter Bosch, their coach, said, the only thing I can say negative about Ricardo Pepi is that he's behind Luke de Jong. And Luke de Jong is our guy. And Ricardo will play, and when he plays, he does extremely well. That's Ricardo Pepi. And with the U.S. men's national team, it's almost the same thing. And he's got a little credit right now, at least under Mauricio Pochettino's eyes, as being he's the only 9 that scored in the last FIFA fixture window for Pochettino. Let me tell you why it was Haji Wright by talking about Haji Wright. Haji Wright is one of the best 9s you have in the program for the U.S. men's national team, but doesn't play as a 9. Plays as a left winger for Coventry City, and to be quite honest, just regained that position not too long ago. This man is back to his goal-scoring ways, back-to-back games with a goal, but he wasn't playing before that. He was coming off the bench for about 3 or 4 games. Nobody knew why. Just regained that position, regained that start, and this is why not only he needed it, but Coventry City. Coventry City dropped points, and they would have gone on to 22nd place relegation zone. They didn't drop points. They moved up to 18th place in a very crowded fight for relegation right now in the championship. Not only was a massive goal for a player who needed that confidence in Haji Wright, who continues to score goals when he's given an opportunity, but his team needed it. And a 92nd winner in a relegation battle is going to do wonders for him, his confidence, and his team. He needed this goal not only for his confidence, but for his team and where that puts him. And when we talk about the national team, I almost feel like we're being unjust with Haji Wright. Because through it all, through everything, it's Haji Wright who comes on and scores big goals, massive goals for the U.S. men's national team. Against Jamaica, the CONCACAF Nations League semifinal, the U.S. men's national team were 10 seconds away from going home in a semifinal. In goes in that own goal off a corner kick. On comes on Haji Wright and a brace to lead them to the final where they end up beating Mexico as they've done in these finals. But it's Haji Wright who was there. Against Colombia, when Colombia routed the U.S. men's national team, it's Haji Wright who comes on as a left winger and provides that spark for the U.S. men's national. Oftentimes, even when he's not playing in the 9th position, it's Haji Wright that's striking up something for the U.S. men's national team. So we know that. He knows that. Mauricio Pochettino doesn't know that yet. This is why a goal like this is massive for Haji Wright.
You know that memory of knocking the Reggae Boys out in those last dying embers of the game. I thought I had healed from it, but just hearing you talk about it, I was like, oh. And I remembered asking Haji that after the FA Cup semifinals. I was like, bro, you live in my nightmares after that. I remember where I was. I was with Wes Morgan and Joby McAnuff, ex-Reggae Boys players too. We were watching it off my phone, and then I was like, this name, Haji Wright, is going to haunt us for the rest of our lives now. And funnily enough, Jamaica is obviously up next at date with the Reggae Boys in Kingston. Obviously, you know where my loyalties lie, but I do love me some Haji Wright, and I love the fact that you said it. He is known for this clutch goal or two. When you compare his season so far, he's got 5 goals to his name. You look at Flo Balogun, he's got 3 goals to his name. Now Ricardo Pepi as well, doing well with his 2 braces. When you're looking ahead to this Nations League quarterfinal against the Reggae Boys, who's getting your pick?
I mean, you have to go with the hot hand, hot foot here. You got to go with the goal scorer. There are a bunch of players right now that the form they once showed, or the credit they once had, form they once showed in Fowler and Balogun, or the credit they once had in Josh Sargent, all that goes out the window. Because when it comes to the U.S. men's national team, there's not been a single 9 to put a stranglehold on that position. And that's good news if you're a Haji Wright. That is good news if you're a Ricardo Pepi. I don't know if that's good news if you're a U.S. men's national team fan. You want somebody staking claim here, but this is where we're at. So if you're asking me who gets the start, I think we got to see how this unfolds and who's the hot hand coming in November.